We usually dive into data in big studies here, but today is different. We're going to explore a really personal, really chilling story that one of you actually sent in. It's about an experience that started when he was just a baby in his crib. And honestly, it's haunted him his entire life. This isn't just some ghost story. It's about a fear that just never, ever went away.
Now, the guy who sent us this story, he's a grown man. But in his own words, he's still living in fear. He's always looking over his shoulder, totally unable to shake this presence. It's not just something he remembers from time to time. It's a fear he literally lives with every single day.
So, where did this all start? Well, the very first incident happened when he was way too young to even form memories. It's a story his mother told him, and it all began with a piece of technology that's supposed to be completely innocent, a baby monitor.
Yeah, most of us know what a baby monitor is, right? It's that little device that's supposed to give parents some peace of mind. You hear your baby, you go check on him. Simple. But for this family, that little box became a channel for absolute terror.
So picture this. The evening starts out totally normal. Our narrator is just an infant, fast asleep in his crib. Downstairs in the kitchen, his mom hears a sound she knows well, the baby's crying. So, like any parent would, she drops everything and bolts upstairs to see what's wrong.
But when she gets to his room, this is where things get weird. The baby isn't crying at all. He's sound asleep, not making a single peep. She's confused but figures, okay, it must be a glitch with the monitor. So she just heads back downstairs.
But then, it happens again. She hears the crying, runs back up, and again, the baby is completely passed out. So at this point, she's thinking the monitor's just broken, so she switches it completely off. Problem solved, right? Nope. Just a moment later, the crying starts up again, coming through a receiver that is turned off. And this is the moment it goes from just being strange to being genuinely horrifying. The sound coming from the dead monitor, it doesn't just keep going, it changes. That baby's cry slowly starts to morph, twisting into this deep, guttural scream, something totally inhuman.
At this point, forget logic. Pure, raw maternal instinct just kicks in. She snatches her sleeping son from his crib, runs out of the house, and doesn't stop until she's literally on the street. She refused to spend one more second inside with whatever was making that sound.
After that night of absolute terror, there was nothing. For 3 whole years, life just went back to normal. No weird sounds, nothing that couldn't be explained. It was this long period of silence, and it let the family hope that maybe, just maybe, whatever happened that night was a freak, one-time thing. They were wrong.
So we jump forward 3 years. The narrator is now 4 years old enough to see things and talk about them. And this time, the presence isn't just a sound. This time, it has a shape. And once again, the scene is so deceptively normal. It's just him and his mom playing together in their living room. But then, out of the corner of his eye, the little boy sees it. A figure, standing silently in the corner of the room, just watching them. Like any kid would, he asks a really simple, direct question. He just turns to his mom, points right at the corner, and asks, "Who is that woman?" For him, it's a real question. But for its mother, oh man, that familiar cold dread comes rushing right back. So right here you have 2 completely different realities happening in the exact same space. In the child's reality, there's a tall woman wearing a black dress standing right there in the corner. But in his mother's reality, there is absolutely nothing there. Just an empty corner.
His mother, she's trying to stay calm, right? She's thinking it's just a child's game, an imaginary friend maybe. But her son isn't playing. And his next words are what pushes this whole incident into pure nightmare fuel.
You can just imagine his mom trying to keep her voice steady. She tells him, "Don't be naughty," trying to just brush it off like it's his imagination running wild. She even takes a step back toward the corner to show him, "See, there's no one here," hoping that'll end the game.
And that's when the 4-year-old, with that chillingly calm honesty only a little kid can have, says the 6 words that must have just frozen his mother's blood. "She is standing right behind you."
And he doesn't even stop there. He keeps up this horrifying play-by-play, telling his mom, who is completely frozen in place, that the woman is staring directly at her. And then he adds the final, awful detail. She looks very angry.
The mother is just stuck there, absolutely petrified, waiting for her husband to get home. And right before she hears his keys in the door, she gets physical proof that this isn't just her son's imagination. She feels it. An unmistakable, icy cold breeze right on the back of her neck. See, those two events, the baby monitor and the woman in black, they weren't just isolated incidents. They were the beginning. This story was never about a haunted house. It was about a haunted person, and it was about a gaze that would never, ever end.
Because the story doesn't end there. In fact, this is where it gets so much worse. The narrator says the woman in black never left. She didn't disappear when they moved out of that house, or when he grew up. He still sees her. That presence from the corner of the room has followed him his entire life.
And that is the real horror of this story. It's not just about a ghost. It's about the echo of that terror, a fear that never faded. It just leaves us with this one final, unsettling question. What happens when the monster under your bed decides to follow you for the rest of your life?